Alright guys, what's going on? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. So, in this video I wanted to discuss arguably probably the most controversial part of the multiplayer reveal of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and that is the Scorestreak system. So, now I'm not going to go like in depth or anything like that in terms of how it works and how everything is put together. I'm sure if you're like myself, you've probably seen tons and tons of videos about it. So I'm not really going to go into like what it is and how it works and stuff like that. I'm just going to get right into the nitty gritty, as well as offering a few solutions on how to make it work in non-objective based game modes that I think, in my opinion, are a great idea. As a matter of fact, well, I just got home from work and I ate, and right now I just, like during work, I unscripted my commentaries, but there were a few points that I was thinking about, as well as thought about while I was at work and on my way to work, that I decided to write it down so that I wouldn't miss anything. So all of this I wrote down, which filled the entire sheet of paper. I wrote it down and thought about it like since before I even left for work, actually since before I got to work. So on my way over, in the car ride, as well as writing everything down during work, I came up with some interesting solutions possibly, and for you guys as well, you can add in as well. And again, some interesting points because, again, if you're like me, you've seen videos on the matter ever since the multiplayer reveal. And originally I wanted to make a video like right away, talking about what I liked, what I didn't like, and what I was on the fence about. And I'm like, hold up. It wouldn't make too much sense to make a video like that because, well, I haven't gotten my hands on it, and neither have you. Most of you guys that are watching this video have not gotten your hands on that alpha gameplay, so therefore we cannot fully judge. We can only speculate because we're from the outside looking in. So let's get right into it. I've talked enough in terms of the basics of the basic, but let's get right into it. So obviously, the system itself sounds really good on paper, right? It sounds absolutely great on paper. But the thing is, number one, is it going to be executed as well as it sounds? Is it going to be executed as well as it sounds? There's a possibility that it won't, but that's a good thing though, because if it's not up to par where it should be, by the time beta is over, they will have plenty of time to make adjustments for something like that before release. Like things like footstep sounds, whether they're amplified or made quieter or whatever the deal is. Things like that can be, I believe, unless I'm wrong and one of you guys can correct me on that, they can be fixed within a 3 to 4 week period of time. Weapon balance, I think, is a little bit more complicated because it's just more complicated. It's a little bit more mathematical and depending on how much, you have to be really precise. But with things like footstep sounds and a couple of other things, you can afford to be off by a little bit. So, but anyway, let's get right into it. So now, first of all, I want to say the good things that I like about the Scorestreak system. It eliminates crouch walking. It takes deaths out of the equation, at least partially. It encourages moving around. Less camping in objective-based game. There's less camping going on, and it encourages objective-based gameplay while keeping gun streaks relevant to good players, and it could potentially be the best system ever in that aspect. It also gives average players, like new players, for instance. Average players are the noobs or the new players. It basically gives them something to shoot for while keeping deaths out of the equation. And it makes them more relevant in objective-based game modes, which in turn also helps out the solo player. Because one of the things that we've been complaining about, like as a solo player, speaking for myself, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, for any of you guys that watch my stuff or know of me or whatnot, I'm sure some of you guys have made videos on this, it is absolutely terrible how the whole team balancing thing comes into play. So let's just say there's a chance that skill-based matchmaking will not be in the game, which is said by everybody and their mother that it is going to be in there, but let's just say it's not. And let's say we get the good old-fashioned skill balancing or whatever, team balancing, right? To where the best player is basically paired up with like the worst players, and while everybody that's somewhere around average or slightly above average is on the other team, right? Let's just say that makes its return, as it's been in the last few Call of Duty Black Ops games like Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3, which were notorious for that, right? All of a sudden, if you play objective-based game modes, this system will actually help quite a lot, because if you take that, like for instance, in World War II, in Black Ops 3, in Infinite Warfare, in many games, granted in the advanced movement games I don't see it as often, but I still see it, but in many games, do you guys want to know what I see? I see a ton of crouch walking. Why do people crouch walk though? Now noobs are noobs, but they're not all stupid. I'm sure some of them out there have a job that makes them 6 to 7 figures a year. But the reason why they crouch walk all over the place is because they don't want to be seen and they don't want to take those big drastic steps, or they're too afraid to run even though they might want to, because they don't know where they're going to get shot from, because they don't understand how the spawn system works or anything like that, right? Something, excuse me, like a player like myself understands very well and determines where I decide to rush or not rush, and the decisions that I make because of how the spawn system works, which just goes to show you how important a good spawn system is. But a noob does not know these things, so what are they going to do? They're going to try to hide, they're going to try to crouch walk, and in unusual places too. Sometimes they crouch walk right in the open, but they don't know this because they don't understand how the spawn system works, and they don't know how to move without kind of getting caught, so to speak. Or let me rephrase that, lowering their chances of getting caught. So now, this system in objective-based games is excellent for that. But here's the problem. Here is the one problem, which is the meat and potatoes of this commentary right here. What about game modes like Team Deathmatch or Free-For-All? All of a sudden, this Scorestreak system goes completely out the fucking window when you have non-objective based game modes, because there's no bonuses or anything like that, right? There's no bonuses, there's no objective-based games. It's just you and your streaks that would give you bonus, like if you're able to stay alive longer. So if there's no bonuses and if there's no incentive to move, and I know that the maps are better than Modern Warfare's in terms of incenting players to move and stuff like that, but at the same time, if staying alive is the only thing that's going to grant you bonus towards your next streak, well, then all of a sudden, it basically gives you no incentive to move around, or a less incentive to move around if you're playing non-objective based game modes. Which lies the problem, because with this, with the system that they've implemented, they sent a clear message, okay? And that is that they want people to move, and they don't want people to give a shit about deaths anymore. It's all about the action. Fuck dying, okay? So we're not going to punish you for dying anymore. However, what we're going to do instead is we're going to encourage you to move, so that way you can increase your chances of getting your score streaks, but at the same time, we're not going to make it to the point to where anybody can get that chopper gunner. You have to still be able to stay alive for longer periods of time while moving and while playing the objective to make that happen for you, which is what a good skilled player does and what a noob would have a lot more of a hard time doing. So that's the message that Treyarch is trying to give to us. So, and I've heard it loud and clear after a few days of looking over everything, watching tons of videos. So how will this take effect in modes like TDM and Free-For-All? So different bonuses for streaks, possibly, not all, because the bonuses will make objective games less relevant, blah, blah, blah. So, now let's not forget that Team Deathmatch is the most popular game mode in Call of Duty and any other first-person shooter that has Team Deathmatch in it. Okay? So, here are my solutions. Now, these are all basically tradition-based. And what I mean by tradition-based, they are all of this has been done for players of all levels in every, or almost all levels, in every single Call of Duty ever implemented, especially over the last few years as the games have increased in terms of their speed. Okay? So all of this is already done. So we just have to reward players for doing them. So this is very comparable to, like, let's say a Devil May Cry 3, a Devil May Cry 4, or a Devil May Cry 5 system, to where the more fancy you get and the more cool things you do, and a combination of all those things, whether it's one thing or two things or a combination of both of those things within a certain period of time, gives you bonus towards your meter to give you that super sexy combo or whatever it is, right? Like when you change things on the fly or whatnot. So it's like, why can't we implement this into Team Deathmatch modes? Now, they can be implemented into objective-based game modes, but I think that would be overkill. I think people would be getting their streaks way too easy. So this can only be implemented in objective-based game modes. So here's the way it goes. Here's the possible solutions. Now, obviously, the most basic of these things that I've thought of is the faster you get kills, the bigger the bonus, right? The bonus start happening when you get faster kills. Now, if you look at Halo, for instance, they give you like your medals, like your double kill, your triple kill, your overkill, your kill-tacular within 4 seconds of getting every kill. So Call of Duty is a lot faster. So I would say probably within 2 seconds or less than 2 seconds. It's like once you cross that 2-second threshold, you can't get a bonus unless you get a kill just slightly before that or something like that, right? So just to give an example. So the faster you get the kills, the bigger the bonus. Or the bonuses start being implemented in similar ways that they're implemented in objective game modes, but instead we're doing it for this. Another thing that could be implemented as well is the more stylers to kill, the bigger the bonus. Like for instance, jump shotting, killing enemies that are in the air, or you being in the air and killing enemies. Killing an enemy that is stationary for too long, and the longer they stay stationary, the more of a bonus the player gets for killing them. 360 kills, sliding kills, things like that. You guys know where I'm going with this. Things that have been done with Call of Duty just for the hell of it, just because they look cool. But then imagine being rewarded for that shit in game to where you can get your score streaks even faster, or the possibility of getting those high tier streaks. Another one, headshot bonuses, like for instance, but only for 2 or more. So let's say you get a headshot kill, which in this game, thanks to exclusive Ace and the time to kill, he went very in depth with that. Thanks to exclusive Ace, he basically said that if you get a headshot kill, it makes a difference in your time to kill, which rewards precision headshots, which I think is pretty cool. So if you get 2 headshots in a row, you get a bonus, and if you get a 3rd shot, it's another bonus, and a 4th headshot in a row, it's another bonus. Wham bam. Let's see, here is another one that I think you guys will like, and again, this is all about tradition as well. I'm sure you guys have seen it in many videos. The bigger the kill feed, the bigger the bonus. Let's see, like for instance, let's say your name, like obviously it's 6v6, right? Or yeah, 6v6 team deathmatch, probably gonna be 6v6. So after, like, it goes up like credits do at the end of movies, right? So after you can only see six players at a time on the kill feed at the most. So the more your name shows up before your name disappears, the more of a bonus you get. So if you get a double, like your name shows up twice in the feed, or 3 times in the feed, which is a triple, or a quad feed, that's what quad feed is. Your name shows up 4 times, or up to 6 times, then you get a crazy big bonus. I think that's something that should definitely be rewarded. Oh, and by the way, this only applies to gun kills, or knife kills, or equipment kills, like lethals, for instance, right? Or like, let's say, tacticals as well. Tacticals can be implemented as well. Like, let's say you throw your stun or whatnot, and then wham bam, you finish an enemy off. Switching weapon kills, for instance. Let's say you have a shotgun secondary and a sniper rifle, right? But you're in close quarters combat, so you whip out your shotgun, you nail a motherfucker, and then you're in your peripherals. You see another dude towards the northeast. You whip out that sniper rifle and you hard scope them, or you drag scope them, or even quick scope them. So that is a fancy style of kill, and it's also simultaneously a double kill, which leads me to my last point, and that is combining any or all of the above for even bigger bonuses. So for instance, you kill a person fast, and then you do something fancy, and then you catch them with, you know what I'm saying? Think of it as the Batman Arkham Asylum or Arkham City achievement, to where you had to do one big combo, but every single hit had to be using a different ability or something like that. I think something like this could definitely be well received and well implemented in team deathmatch game modes, and it would definitely give people an incentive to move around. Because again, and at the same time, I mean, if you hold still, you're only going to be contributing. If you camp too much, you're only going to be contributing to the opposing team that catches you when you're off guard. So that is my solution. I personally think that the system itself is excellent. It has excellent potential. But again, on paper at least, for objective-based game modes. But this is my solution for team deathmatch-based game modes, as well as free-for-all game modes. Because again, there are people that like to play solo, either on team deathmatch or free-for-all, and all you're doing is getting kills. So we don't want a system like this that could potentially be the best system ever to basically go out the window in the most popular game mode like team deathmatch. I know free-for-all isn't as popular, but again, at the same time, with the amount of players that are able to cross-gen play and cross-play, free-for-all is going to be more popular than ever. So we want those people happy, right? Ever since the inclusion of this trailer, the release of the multiplayer footage trailer, before they started giving us all sorts of footage, guess what that trailer said to me first, that I realized within the first 2 minutes? They're basically trying to make this game accessible to everybody. In other words, like whatever flavor of Call of Duty you like, whether it's being on vehicles, whether you like Battle Royale, whether you like the traditional 6v6, whether you like competitive, it's all in there. That's what it said to me. As soon as I saw it, as soon as I saw everything, like from the vehicles and all that shit, it's like, okay, they're giving us everything. The only thing I prayed to God for at the time was that the vehicles weren't mandatory, and thank God that they're not, because I still want my traditional 6v6. So that is my take on this, and that is my take on the Scorestreak system. I am going to keep an open mind about it. I'm actually excited about it if it ends up being this good on paper. And even if you like these ideas, and if you think these would be cool ways to be implemented, for this to be implemented in Team Deathmatch and Free-for-All, I never ask for anything. The only thing I ask is that you spread this video and timestamp it to where it gets into the nitty-gritty, so that way, if anybody from the development team, 1 in a billion shot, sees this, they could possibly talk Vaughn or whoever else into it, and we can get something like this going. It only makes things a lot more interesting and better. So I personally haven't seen a video yet talked about this. If there has been, then hey, credit to whoever did. I'm not copying anybody. This is just something that I thought of, and I thought it'd be great to share it with you. I couldn't wait to get home to share it. So that's all I got for this one, guys. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of these ideas. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I could do to make my videos better. This is Jack, signing off.